Hi, my name is Aaron Hobbs. I'm the Dean of Education at Stevens Henniker College here in Salt Lake City, and I'd like to take a moment to teach you a few things about Excel. So one of the most overlooked parts of Excel comes from the data tabs and the formatting button. Now the format button is peculiar because this has a wealth of information that you can find through other links, but Excel has chosen to make it very common here. One of the most common ones that I've run into, though, is this move or copy sheet. So this one is going to allow us to click here, and using this as our source, we can create a copy. Now this particular sheet that I've given you comes from the county business office, in which they have a list of business names and addresses along with owners, so that say you are looking to do some marketing, this would be a good way for you to start establishing certain lists. So let's go ahead and just make like 3 or 4 copies of this so we can start building distribution lists. Now here you can see this particular page has all of the businesses that are listed within the county. And there are quite a few. But let's say you're planning on doing some marketing. Well, if you keep this as your primary list, what you can do is go on this one that you've just copied, and let's say we want to do some marketing, but maybe we only want to do marketing in a certain city. So one of the very first things that I recommend for everybody to do when they have a table or when they have a large list of names or data to sort is to either create a table or to ensure that they have a way of sorting that data or filtering the data. One of the easiest ways is to create a table. Now, Excel wants to do this in 2 ways. One, it's going to give you a drop-down menu that's going to allow you to create a table, and it's going to give you certain designs. Or what you can do is go to the very, very end of that data which again, there's quite a significant amount. So I've done a shift and a click, which highlighted that entire column. Now I can do one more thing. If I tell Excel to highlight everything to the right of that, I will click Shift, Control, and the right arrow. It will now highlight everything. At this point, I can create a table. I can do one with a basic design, or I can choose one of these special ones. In this case, I just want to do a very simple one, so I will click Insert, and I will click Table. And I'm just going to do a regular table. And in doing that, I want to ensure that the table has headers, meaning this business name, owner name will become the headers. Okay, I have now created a table. Inside that table is where I have plenty of controls, I have plenty of options. I can do a significant amount of things within this table. So let's say I want to just create a marketing list of everybody in the 83110 zip code. So I will tell the table to not select anything except for 83110. In this case, it's going to be one company. So I will create a contact of just this single company. Now what I can do is, in order to remember this, I can come up here. It says this is Fair on Utah. So I will rename this sheet. Okay, now I have established this sheet specific to this one. We can always use this, and we can lock this down. We can protect this sheet so that the data is never changed on this sheet. And that way, you don't have to worry about somebody typing over anything or losing any of your data. So all you're going to do is you're going to come up to the top up here. You're going to ensure that your data is sound, so you can actually choose one of these little things to validate your table, make sure that it's there. But for my preference, I just want to go in and protect my data or protect this sheet. So I will just right click on the Fair in Utah, protect the sheet. I will select the cells, unlock cells. I can choose whatever I want to do on here. I can add a password in case I want to share this and then give somebody else permission. But right here, all I want to do is I will allow them to select the cells, but I do not want them to change any of the content, so I will not check those. Okay, at this point, if I ever share this database or this Excel chart with anybody, all they can do is view this. They cannot change anything. So we go to the second item that we've created. Again, we do the same thing. We highlight that very first cell, come all the way to the bottom of the list, shift, click, and then shift, control, right arrow. We've highlighted that entire section. Now, maybe you don't want to have a blue table, maybe you want this one to be orange. You can select that in that drop down. Again, we want our headers, yes. We have now created an orange table. This one does not have the banded stripes. In case you do want to change that, there's a way that you can come up and make the alterations simply in here. All you do is ensure you've selected the table in this little area, and we can make any changes that we want to that. And now we've created a banded table. After we've done that, now we can go ahead and create some filters. One filter that I know a lot of you would probably use is in separating names. So you want a column of first names, a column of last names, and a lot of the people that will be listed in these businesses, you may want to actually address a formal letter to them, but only using their first name. So my advice would be to go ahead, come in here, you're going to insert some columns because some of them will have 3, 4, 5 names in there. So insert a few columns, and after you've inserted those columns, you're going to use the data button to separate this. So I am here, I am going to insert column, insert column, insert column. We'll probably do 5 or 6 just to ensure that we have safety with our splitting up the names. Okay. Now here again we have our names. So we go to the data button. We're going to do text to column. We're going to select delimited. This is going to ensure that we can separate by commas or tabs. Click next. We're going to actually separate by a space. Then we'll click next and finish. So here you see Jim or Dairy Jenks. And if we were to start creating mailing lists, instead of writing Dear Mark H. Williams, we could follow that same rule. So in this case, again, we're going to do click on that button, hold the shift button down, click the down arrows, shift control down, highlight all those names, text columns, delimit it, next. We're going to do space, next. We'll do a finish. Okay, now we've got a row of only first names. Sometimes they'll be a little bit funny because some people on their business license will put last name first, or they'll put doctor or what have you. But this is just going to give us this group. Now this group, we can then create mailing lists or we can personalize letters to them saying, "Dear Doug, we would like to inform you of a business opportunity."